What is going on, guys? Now we have the return of Keyshawn Davis, the former WBO lightweight world champion, moving up to 140 against the rough, tough, seasoned veteran of Jamaine Ortiz. A very awkward fighter, very light on his feet, hits and moves, a bit more of a boxer than a brawler, but again, stylistically, I do believe this is a fight which could potentially open up and be another potential fight of the night. Now, when you break down both fighters, you'll see here with Keyshawn, he's very good on the inside. He allows his fighters to smother his work. Similar to Baranchik, smothers his work so he doesn't land clean. And then when he tries to, Keyshawn will lean back, he'll land that nice shot to the body, he'll break you down and drop you. He's very smart in the inside, which is what you need to be. You'll see he lands shots there for fun, but when he tees up, he gets too excitable. In the sense of when he's throwing, it's not much thought, it's more just throw and hope, not throw and land. But one thing that is very, very underrated about Keyshawn is you'll see here, the way he lands a knockdown here, catches that hook, lands a hook of his own, then uses his hand to smother him, and then lands them two body shots at the ribs. Defense for attack, which is something which you need, especially at the elite level. But you see against Pedraza, when he fights against people like world level seasoned veterans, he fights to the level of his opponent. He doesn't, stand out in a way where he does get you out of there. But when he fights to the level of his own opponent, he's susceptible for silly shots, where he's meant to be in that rhythm, where you'll see here, he lands a good shot, but his feet are so flat, where he crosses his legs at times, where you can't do that at this sort of elite level that he's fighting at now, because when you're a world champion, you can't go down. There's only one way you go, which is up or on par. You can't go and fight in C, D, E level fighters, so you need to make sure that you are on point, otherwise your opponents will check you with ease. So he needs to work on basic footwork, because he's utilising his defense with his hand, but head movement and footwork wise is something which I do believe he needs to work on, because to stay at the elite level you need to be all rounded, which it's good to max out some statistics and some attributes, but you can't be more in favour of one. But you'll see here with Pedraza, he lands them good shots, he picks his shots well, he tees up, he uses his range. But one thing I say is he can work on the inside, so he doesn't really give up his range that much. But you'll see here in this fight against Lemos, his timing, his counter punching, lean back, then lands that right, where you see more of a masterclass in my eyes when it comes to defensively and offensively. The way he switches around, lands a shot, and then he lands and follows with that left hook, which makes his legs go like Bambi. So he can use his head movement, but he just doesn't use it for some reason, because he'd rather stand toe to toe and have a dig, a bit like what he did with Anthony Yigit here. He lands good shots, but again, you got to land good shots and then make him pay for missing their shots, where a lot of the times it's just more he lands, stands there, admires, and like that he gets hit with silly shots from Yigit. Although he managed to hurt him later on into the fight, where he stands very comfortable on the front foot in the middle, and he's getting caught with silly shots where, let's say he does go the distance, again, that's one thing that could go against your favour, is they're scoring punches, which cost him against Albright. Although he did win, one judge had it a draw where he was just silly because he was getting hit with silly shots, but fortunately there he managed to get out the door. But this is the key, where before he hurt him, look at all these punches he's throwing. He's picking his shots, but every punch he's throwing is open, where Yigit, because he's not at that elite level, he waits to counter. He doesn't counter immediately, where if he fights like that against someone like, for example, the Tiafimos or the Muratalos, if he moved back down to 135, he's going lights out, no doubt. So that's something that he needs to be very, very careful with, where you got someone like Ortiz who's mobile, he's on his feet, he lands and moves, his pivoting's unreal. This is someone where you need to tie up in the corner, because it's harder to do, of course, because when you're on the move, you're a harder target. Bit like with Anthony Joshua when he fought Jake Paul, how he said it's like hitting a fly, because it's someone who's lighter and you're trying to pin him down. But you'll see here, when he gets comfortable on the ropes, he gets hit with silly shots like Keyshawn, but he's way too negative. You never see him that much on the front foot, more on the back foot and moving. And when he lands them good shots to the inside, which you see here, it's not with intent, he's not committed. And you see with Tiafimo, every punch is like a full-on dig, like he's loading up, which he needs that killer instinct within him, because in boxing, you're going to get exposed. Where he has that against moments like here, where he's fighting lower level fighters, where He'll land a good shot on the chin and then makes him take a knee, and then pressurizes them and lands what he wants to. But when he steps up to that high level, you don't really see it as much. Where with here, he'll land a good left hook, for example. He'll switch stance. He'll make it awkward, throw from awkward angles. But he's holding him down, trying to swing at him. But he gets caught with silly counters because when he's throwing again, although he's a bit tight with his hooks, he's open to the chin where he got caught with a right there. Where someone with a decent amount of power like Keyshawn will spark you out. So he needs to be careful, but unfortunately, or fortunately for his sake, he managed to get him out of there. But with Herring, this is what I'd say is the blueprint against someone like Keyshawn. Similar style, although Jamaine Herring is a southpaw, is making it awkward for him, throwing out awkward angles. Don't be textbook, don't be conventional. Switch stance, land them shots, move out and then come back in. Simple as that. Just head, body. Be spontaneous, don't be predictable, because being predictable is someone who's got good amateur pedigree like Keyshawn, who will train for the basics, because he knows the basics off by heart. He will expose you and battle you with ease. So Jamaine Ortiz needs to be awkward, similar in shades of Emmanuel Augustus. Bring that drunken style, bring the drunken master that you can be, because fighting someone who's hard to read, that's going to be a tough night in the office and a massive favour for you. But if you look closer to this Herring fight, you'll see when he lands to the body, he's moving his head, he's more on the front foot, he's slipping the jab while throwing his own and landing his own. But again, sometimes he can get beat to the punch, but he resets and lands what he wants to. We need this more positive Ortiz, because this Ortiz that fought Herring, he will cause Keyshawn problems all night long I should say. And again, body shots against someone like Keyshawn, because his chin's been tested and he hasn't been rocked. He's got a decent chin so far, so breaking him down to the body is important, because then the head will later on follow. So he needs to, again, head body mix up, hooks, uppercuts, 3-4 punch combinations. Do what you need to do, but be more active than you have recently. Where with Lomachenko, you can see here the way he turns with ease and he lands them shots. His footwork's fast, but again, he gets caught square on, because when he's in the middle of switching stance, that is something which Keyshawn can utilise, can take advantage of. Because if you catch him square on, similar to Cannon Walsh for example, you've seen in a few of his fights, recently Ocampo, that's a 10-8 if he falls over. Even though it's a scuffing shot which isn't full power, it's a 10-8 at the end of the day, and if it goes to the scorecards, that could be a deciding factor. So catch him square on and following up, using that jab, create openings, bite on the feints, which is what Loma did with him well. He made him bite for the feints. Use that Loma fight as a lesson to learn to what to do with someone like Keyshawn, where you utilise your fast footwork, hit and move, simple as that. Bite positive, commit, don't fight negative, don't throw a few little flicky jabs and a little check hook and then circle around the ring for a minute. That is not going to get you the win. Commit and flatten your feet and dig and plant your feet as well, may I say. Not flatten your feet, because as I said about Keyshawn, don't be flat foot, but plant your feet when you shoot, of course. And be awkward, be unique. Now with Keyshawn, as I said, don't be flat and complacent, because he'll land a good shot, his feet will just be flat, and then he'll just take a few punches because he's happy to take two to land three, which at the end of the day they're scoring punches and one of them could chin you. Feints, don't be predictable, don't throw the same old shots, make him bite on the feints, then land what you need to do and then create openings for any other shots or combinations that you have later on in the fight, and straight shots, as I previously said, to catch Ortiz square. Now stylistically, this is a top fight, tremendous fight, but I do believe it is a big factor going up to 140. Jamaine Ortiz, he's fought at 135 as well, so he knows what it's like to move up at weight. And I do believe as hard as Keyshawn hits, I don't think he might carry the power up, because you've seen with Teofimo, he struggles with the power moving up to 140. Same with other fighters, they move up a weight and the power is just not susceptible, where they're not too used to knocking out people or knocking down people as much as they used to. So for that reason, I do believe Keyshawn technically is much better and he's much more positive on the front foot and the back foot. So I do believe Keyshawn will win. I do believe Jamaine Ortiz will make it a bit awkward at times, but I do believe he will commit at times. But then when he's circling around the ring, I do think Keyshawn will cut the corners, cut the ring and pin him down. But I don't think it'll be enough to get him out of the ring by the end of the round, or end of the fight I should say. And I do believe Keyshawn will win. I believe it will be a very competitive fight, but he'll get a nod on the scorecards. He might score a knockdown, but I don't believe he'll knock him out. As tough as Ortiz is, I do believe he just is a level or two just below Keyshawn. No disrespect to him, but there's a difference between world level and elite. But that is my prediction. That is going to be what I'll be betting and backing. Hope you enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and as always, there's 8 financial advice. It's going to be what I'm going to be betting off my research. Have a great one.